It has been dark for the Bears in recent years. I mean, really, when I think about the past 50 years, the Lions and the Bears are tied together as teams that rarely rise up and create a problem. And growing up as a Vikings partisan, the Bears and the Lions were just the team you kind of, they're just there. It should be 4 easy wins a year. That's how it was in the 70s. Now, obviously, the Bears had the Super Bowl year of 85, but that just makes the nearly 40 years since then even more conspicuous. They are not good far more often than they are good. And they've got themselves a very good quarterback now in Justin Fields. So, with the number 1 overall pick that they earned, thanks to former Bears coach who did take the team to the Super Bowl in 2006, Lovie Smith, winning on Sunday at Indianapolis. They've got that first overall pick. Here's General Manager Ryan Poles entering his second season on the job, talking about whether or not Justin Fields will be the starter in 2023.
Yeah, we had good conversations. I'm excited for the direction he's going. And as I mentioned before, he knows where he has to improve. I think you mentioned that the other day. So we're excited about his development and where he goes next. He showed ability to be impactful with his legs. There's flashes with his arm. Now, if we can put that together, I think we have something really good. We're going to do the same as we've always done. We're going to evaluate the draft class. And I would say this, I'd have to be absolutely blown away to make that type of decision.
I mean, here's the bottom line, and I've seen this argument. I've had people email it to me.
I know.
People in the league kicking it around. And I like, well, okay, they can trade Justin Fields and take Bryce Young. Okay.
It's crazy, too, because I feel like some of these people are the people that are like, what, you're crazy that Justin Fields isn't the number 1 pick in the draft 2 years ago, and they're already going, well, what about the next number 1 pick? That's where it's crazy. But keep going, Mike. I know I'm with you here. Keep going.
And I think part of it is, and I was thinking about this earlier today, we are inching toward the point on the calendar where the draft industrial complex springs back to life. And it's mock drafts up the wazoo.
Right.
And it's all this granular stuff on 300 guys in the scouting combine. And you know, and we know how it goes every year. The draft comes and goes, and we forget about all of them except 5. And the ones that happen to become good players during the season because their skills rise up or the circumstances press them into duty, like Brock Purdy, who also rose up once he was given the opportunity. But it continues to be a speculative endeavor. For all the time and effort that's put into it, it's a lottery ticket that you have to scratch off. And you either get a winner or you don't. And we don't have to go many years back to understand that at quarterback, it's a coin flip as to whether or not he's going to become a franchise guy, a guy that lives up to that draft status, a guy that you can build a team around. And with Justin Fields, based upon 2 years, with the upheaval that we saw from his rookie season to his second season and the electric, best in the league running ability, how do you throw that back after 2 years and say, I'm going to scratch off a new lottery ticket and take the chance that the guy I get doesn't develop into a great quarterback? We just don't know. It's nothing against Bryce Young. It's nothing against any of the guys coming in. But we know there's a chance. History tells us there's a chance that, I mean, just go back to 2018. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh freaking Rosen, Lamar Jackson.
Right.
All the way at number 32.
Yep.
And you know, Lamar Jackson's at a crossroads right now. The only guy that clearly is great out of 5 is Josh Allen.
Right.
So I don't like those odds. I'm going to keep the bird in the hand. I mean, hell, if the Lions are going to hang on to Jared Goff, the Bears better hang on to Justin Fields. And you know, we were talking the other day. What do the Ravens do if they move on from Lamar Jackson? How do they keep running that same offense? Well, get Justin Fields if the Bears are willing to give him up. I'd rather have Justin Fields than Lamar Jackson right now because he's younger, he's healthier, and he's got an agent that I know at the appropriate time will accept our best contract offer.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to go back to like what Brad Holmes said here earlier, right? It's like it's a lot, you know, easier to mess up the quarterback situation than to find one and have it work. And Mike, like, I'm with you. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? That's where, like, if I was Ryan Poles, I wouldn't even flirted with that answer there. I know what he's saying, right? If someone just blows me away that way, then he's the number one pick. But it's also like, come on, we know by now, don't we? I mean, Patrick Mahomes didn't even blow people away like that to be the number one pick. So it is a crapshoot to your point, excuse me. And then, I mean, you got a quarterback, who has something elite about him. That's like, I mean, has greatness in him that you can build around that aspect of his game and be a real pain in the butt. Yes, he's not perfect throwing the football. He's not awesome in the pocket yet. It's going in the right direction. And then let's see what direction it goes if they continue to get, guys in front of them that can pass protect and a few open receivers down the field. This to me is you got a piece of clay right here that you can mold and make an offense that's special and different, and then the guy himself is special. You don't ever let go of that, in my opinion. Again, what we're watching right here is like we've only seen a few people in the history of football run like this at the quarterback position. This is like one of the best with the ball in his hand out of any position in football when he runs. I don't care who it is, receiver, running back, whatever. He's as good as anybody. So that's where I just go, yeah, that's crazy. Don't even entertain that thought, Ryan Poles. You got something there. You work with it, and you give this guy some support as far as talent on the offensive side of the ball, and you see where it goes. But I think there's a lot more positives than negatives in Justin Fields right now.
When they had the regime change last year, Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy out, and Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus in, it's just so weird they had the same two first names.
Yeah.
It means absolutely nothing. It's just weird. Every time I think of it, it's weird. My thought was they really aren't ready to embrace this guy because he's not their guy. That's always the question. When you have a young quarterback and you bring in a new GM and a new coach, are they going to rally around and embrace the guy who was picked by the ones who got fired? And all the moves this past offseason, I know they were caught in a bad salary cap situation. There wasn't a lot they can do. It felt like a lot of tearing down with no effort to build up. Look at what Jacksonville did with a new coach and Doug Peterson. They got pieces around their young first-round quarterback Trevor Lawrence, and it made a difference. The Bears didn't do that, but Justin Fields still thrived.
Right.
And you get to a point where maybe when you came through the door, you weren't sold on this guy and all options were on the table. But once he started creating, and it was every week, it was a Mike Vick 2003 highlight every week from Justin Fields. You said at one point, you're always going to pick the Bears to cover because Justin Fields is going to have one of these 50-yard touchdown runs that puts them within the number every freaking week.
Every week.
So how do you not?
Right.
How do you not say, okay, we have a great player. We're going to build around him. We're going to design an offense that suits him. That's our number one objective here.
Exactly.
And we're not trading him. We're not giving up. We're not going to start over again with somebody new that may or may not be able to rise up and play like he can, whose skills may not be as transferable as his were. We're just not going to do it. And I think the comment yesterday about having to absolutely be blown away, I think he's already starting to, put the thumb on the scale for what he's going to want in trade.
Yeah, right.
That's
right.
the other game
I hear
here.
You. Yep.
And he will you probably will see Ryan Pace at all of the pro day workouts for the top quarterbacks because this dawned on me, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. You've got to be in a position where you can intelligently negotiate with whoever wants to trade up to get a quarterback if you're not going to take a quarterback and you're looking to trade down. So you have to be able to see through the BS. We're not so sure about this guy. Well, why are you trying to trade up to get him? Here's what I know about him. I've scouted him.
Yeah, right.
Here's what he's worth. So if you want to come make this trade, here's what you're going to give me. So I think they will look at them, but not to replace Justin Fields. At least they shouldn't. They should look at these quarterbacks so they can get the best possible deal when it's time to move out of the number one spot for whoever wants to come up and get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud. But I assume it's going to be Bryce Young. But who the hell knows? We're just at the start of the process.
There seems like there's going to be some good options here. But I think you said it right. I would agree with you. And, I mean, come on. You have a chance to be a little different than the rest of the NFL, too. And different is good. Everybody's got a drop-back pass offense, and we know that. But, we can throw some offenses out there where I go, it's a little different, and they're always at the top. I mean, of course, we got Kansas City. That's different, and we know that. The Eagles. Look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not Justin Fields. He's not. Jalen Hurts is really damn good. He can't run like Justin Fields. I would say Justin Fields really naturally probably a better thrower than Jalen Hurts at the early part of his career too. So that's where I look at it and go, wait, you have a chance to kind of build something like that. Continue to build the offensive line. We got Claypool, Darnell Mooney. Maybe we get another receiver in the mix. That's crazy. Maybe one more running back. Those are the offenses that seem to be giving people problems right now. It's not necessarily the drop back, just normal type of offense. Miami Dolphins doing something different. The 49ers, we know that's always kind of something different. He gives them an approach that, most teams don't play. It's hard to prepare for. It's different to prepare for. And, again, he's just got some elements about his game that are elite that I just don't think you build around and you go all in on it. And that's where I'd be excited if I'm the Bears. I think they got a good defensive coach in Matt Eberflus. And they were tough, and they're coached the right way. Now if they get some talent on that side of the ball, like you talked about, they got a ton of money to spend. They could play, a Baltimore Ravens type-ish football, right? When Lamar was in his prime a few years ago or whatever. They could be that kind of team to where you could just go, whoa, they can run the ball. He'll make a big pass play every now and then, and their defense is stout and a pain in the butt. And they can win a lot of games for a long time within that formula.
Something you said there, and you kind of stopped yourself, but I think you're right. To refer to Lamar Jackson's prime as past tense.
I know. You're right.
May not be inaccurate. May not be. I don't know. As I said earlier, he's at a crossroads right now.
Right. Running prime for
multiple
sure.
Reasons.
Yeah.
Health standpoint. Right. But this is part of the long-term growth that is necessary. It makes me think of the two Steves, McNair and Young, both guys who had great running skills, had to, at some point in their mid to late 20s, pivot to becoming better passers, because otherwise your career is not going to extend. You're not going to get the chance to be an old 35 like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, right.
Because you're going to be gone. Because if you can't do anything other than run, you're not going to last much longer than a running back. Period. That's just how it works. And what fascinates me about the Bears, and this goes back to and I'm sorry, all the defense coordinators in football are going to come together. They're going to come to my house and
they all hate
rocks
you
at me because I would hire an offensive coach. Because the good news for the Bears is, unlike the Lions, who have to worry about Ben Johnson leaving, nobody's talking about Luke Getsy that I've seen yet as a head coaching candidate. So Getsy will be back, and whatever they do this year, hey, Bears, be on notice right now. You better have somebody arm in arm with Getsy putting this offense together. Whether it's quarterback's coach or whoever, somebody else from that staff better be right there with Getsy and ready to take over as the coordinator in 2024, because if Fields takes off the way that he could next year with an offense designed specifically for him and a full season out of Chase Claypool and whatever other pieces they pick up, all of a sudden Getsy's going to be a hot head coaching commodity. We know that's the formula, right or wrong, and sometimes it's more wrong than right, but that's the formula for finding new head coaches. So you better be ready for Getsy to be gone, and you better have somebody who can continue whatever progress you make with Fields this year.
Yeah, I hear that, and hopefully they have a chance to devise an offense that's different, and we'll see. Luke Getsy, I think he's got a lot of great drop back pass concepts and things of that nature within the traditional quarterback play, but showed throughout the year when they started to kind of become a dangerous football team, whatever that was, week 5 or week 6, or it was the New England Patriots game where I think there was a number of podcasts and early season conversations with you and me where I was going, wait, I don't understand why they drafted this guy. Right? I mean, that's what we were saying. They're trying to make
no designed runs.
Right.
Every run was a scramble.
Right.
I
don't get it. It was total square peg round hole type of thing where you're like, why are they trying to make this guy Peyton Manning? That's not who he is. And they finally made that adjustment, and we saw how dangerous they were. I mean, it's changed their football team. Even when they were, quote unquote, kind of giving up on the year, getting rid of assets they weren't going to come bring back, and kind of tanking, for lack of a better way to say it, right? And see young guys and try to empty the checkbook a little bit that way. And damn, they became more dangerous just because of that element on their football team. So I think we're both in agreement here that they got a guy here, build around him, and you could be a real pain in the butt and hopefully whoop the crap out of the Vikings on a yearly basis, Chicago. Let's go.
That was completely unnecessary, but they are one of the teams that if you're a Vikings fan, you got to be concerned about. And you've gone 30 years worrying about the Packers. You get to the point where maybe you don't have to worry about the Packers, but you better worry about the Lions and the Bears because I think they're both on the rise. Yep. And it's amazing to think that the Bears only won 3 games. And I think they would have been winless without Justin Fields.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.